everybody, welcome back to my channel again. I'm Allie, this is Allie G Reads, and I'm doing bookshelf tour 3 part 2 because they were just way too long. I was rambling on too much. I realized it's hard to do these bookshelf tours and make them like a 30-minute long video. So I decided to divide it into 2 parts. So this is the second part. So it's these shelves here. So without further ado, I won't ramble on. Let's get started. We love the Nickelodeon tights paired with a Rammstein shirt because I don't leave the house, so I don't need to match anything. So I'll start with like a chunk from that side. Ian McEwan, my Ian McEwan collection. I am missing some. Ian McEwan is my favorite author ever. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I don't want to say too much about each of his books. Some of them I've talked about before because they've shown up in videos, but I'll just kind of run through these quick. On Cheezel Beach, I just included this in my wrap-up. Wasn't my favorite. My May wrap-up, sorry. I had to get different lighting because I was actually like losing daylight. Enduring Love. This is a really weird one. It was made into a movie, but I don't think it like Daniel Craig's in it, but I don't think it got big in North America. But this is basically like an event happens and it's like a story of obsession. Machines Like Me. If I did not include this in my best of 2020, it should have been included. This is one of his more recent books. This is a great morality story dealing with AI. Really good. Again, I'm not going to say too much more. The Children Act. This was made into a movie. This is a judge. And she is handling a case about a boy who's dying of cancer, but his parents don't want to accept the treatment because of their religious beliefs. So it deals with that. My all-time favorite book ever, Atonement. Fabulous. I put it in my all-time favorite video. Nutshell, I put it in my all-time favorite video. Fabulous book, one of my favorites ever. Sweet Tooth, I'm going to need to reread. I remember it having a really good twist. This is an espionage book. I'll recommend it probably eventually. And Solar, as you can see, I got this years ago for $2. I don't know what this is about. We'll find out when I read it. I talked about this in my May wrap up as well, Hamnet and Judith. I won't say too much more about that. I love it. I have The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. I did love this book. It was also in my May wrap up. Credence, also in my May wrap up. Erotic fiction that I'm starting to get into. Different. My 2 Colleen Hoover books. I do have another one that'll come up in another video. I plan to try to read more because I've heard there's some like Ugly Love apparently is really good too. I have Verity and I have Layla. I have not talked about Layla yet. Paranormal romance. And then this is like a thrilling romance. I think this is more a thriller than a romance, but it's in the romance section. I talked about this, I think, in my best of 2020 and a thriller video I just did. So there's more there. My goodness, I forgot about these ones because they were not in the McEwan order. I have 3 more McEwan books. In the Comfort of Strangers. This was made into a movie years ago. Sorry. This was made into a movie years ago with Christopher Walken and Natasha Richardson. This is about a couple that gets lost in a town, which is pretty much Venice, but it's never actually said. And they are found by this other couple, and then shit starts getting weird. This is a novella. Really weird book. I'll talk about it in another video. This is a satire, The Cockroach. This is basically McEwan ranting about Brexit, but in a satirical way. Honestly, Amsterdam, I don't know what this is about. I know I got it at a thrift store, but there's no plot even on it. So I guess unless I'm looking it up, I'm going into this completely blind. Yes, I don't know what this is about, but I own it. This is a really good historical fiction, maybe. The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. This, I don't remember too much about it. It's an affair that happens, like a love triangle. All I remember is how incredibly stunning the writing is. And this has some excellent, beautiful quotes. And I love this cover. Like the back. To imagine, to dream about things that have not happened is among mankind's deepest needs. It's just so beautiful and so lyrical. There's so many incredible quotes. I think if I were to reread this now, this would be like fully annotated of just quotes I love. Maybe it'll be a reread. I have some here by B.A. Shapiro. She writes historical fiction, but like art. And I said in a previous video, I love art history. So here we go. The Muralist. These all sound really good, by the way. The Muralist. This is like, what does it say? A painter vanishes in New York City in 1940. No one knows what happened to her. And then she has Jewish family living in German-occupied France. So this kind of goes across a bunch of different things. The Collector's Apprentice. It says Page Turner. Accused of helping her fiancé steal her family's fortune and her father's art collection, Pauline has fled to France. This sounds like a revenge story as I read on. And The Art Forger. This woman is approached by the mob to, well, she doesn't know they're the mob at first, but she's she's approached by bad people to forge this painting and all the stuff that happens after. I've heard that this has an incredible twist ending, and that's actually very thrilling. I've got all of these at Book Outlet really cheap. And by the looks of the reviews on them, they're all very thrilling, and they're all like art history thrillers. So I definitely want to read these all this year because I love art. This is a historical fiction romance, A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. Amanda Collins, sorry. Of all the crime scenes in all the world, she walks into his twice. This is like a Victorian era comedy romance. That is like enemies to lovers trope. And then I have 3 by John Mars. The one I've read, What Lies Between Us, which is fabulous. I believe I just recommended it in my last thriller video. The Passengers, which I tried to read and could not get into, so I'm going to try it again because I've heard it's really good. It's about like people trapped in like an artificial intelligence car, and there's like a game and one of them lives. And then The One, this is like a Tinder where you're matched with people by your DNA compatibility. This was made into a Netflix series. I haven't watched it yet, and I will not watch it until I read this. Again, tried to get into it and couldn't. Starting to the shelf here. All Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is a fabulous historical fiction. Set in World War II. Beautiful story. Great book. Apparently this is going to be adapted finally. They've been saying that for years. I don't know what keeps happening, but it's really good. If you like, especially World War II era history, this one's really, really good. History of the Rain by Niall Williams. Niall. this is like a family history type book. I've heard that this is a stunning book, and it has beautiful writing. I just haven't got to it yet. I have to really like want to read historical fiction too. I love it, but like I have to be in the mood for it. So eventually. But I read both of these books this year. The Escape Room by Megan Golden and Night Swim by Megan Golden. I prefer Escape Room, her debut. Night Swim was not that great. I have 2 by Blake Crouch. I have Recursion, which was on my best of 2020 list. This is a fabulous time travel thriller mystery. And Dark Matter. Apparently this is like psychological thriller sci-fi. I just haven't read it yet. Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning here on YouTube. This is a really good book. This is a good introduction to horror. This is like Stand By Me, friendship story meets cults. And what's great is that Rhett and Link have been friends since they were like 6 years old. So I think that this is very honest as far as friendship goes. It's great. Nocturnal Animals by Austin Wright. This was made into a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams. It's a thriller. I watched the movie, and the movie is really dark. I want to read this because it might be different, but I've already watched the movie, so. Headhunters by Joe Nesbo. This is not a detective thriller like he normally writes. This is about someone that's a corporate headhunter who gets wrapped up in this like art heist. I tried to read this because it came highly recommended by someone that I worked with at the bookstore. And she's not steered me wrong. However, I tried to read this book and there's no like quotations at all, which bothers me. And there's not a lot of like chapter breaks and page breaks. So I was struggling to get into it, but this is a cult book. I might read it soon. It reminds me of Halloween, so I might save this for Halloween, but I do want to read it. I remember kind of getting into it, and then I was just getting like confused as I was reading it. So I think I just need to be in a better like headspace to get through this. 2 more horrors here. The Shining Girls and Broken Monsters by Lauren Bukes. These are apparently both really good, but this is quite dark from what I understand. This one's more like murder. This is more time travel, psychic killers. Of all my Peter Swanson books. What is this? Oh, my Rammstein invoice. All the Beautiful Lies by Peter Swanson. I have not read this one yet. I got it really cheap. I don't even know what it's about. I just picked it up. 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. This is actually really good. The only gripe I have with this is that the 8 Perfect Murders list that the narrator created as a blog is like his, like what he thinks are the best murder, like mystery plot lines in classic mystery novels. So it actually spoils 8 classic novels. Oh! Which I wasn't a huge fan of. Every Vow You Break. This came out this year. At the time I put it in my wrap up, I said I didn't know how to rate it. Thinking back on this, I think it's a 2-star. I really don't think I liked it that much. This might go in my worst of 2020. We'll see. The more I think about it, the more I dislike it. Which sucks because I was on a roll with Peter Swanson books. Her Every Fear is really good. This is a mystery thriller about a girl who swaps apartments with her cousin. She lives in England. Her cousin lives in Boston. And it just so happens that the neighbor beside him got murdered and he is a suspect. And then my favorite thriller ever, The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. I've talked about this in I don't know how many videos. This is the best thriller I've ever read. Pick it up. Oh my God, my plant is falling. Go plant. Okay. I got this from the library, and it was like a library sale copies. There's still a tag. IQ84 by Haruki Murakami. Apparently this is fabulous, but probably not the best place to start with your Murakami. So I think I might get a shorter Murakami book and try that first before I read this one. But this is like a dystopian type book. But Murakami writes like surrealism, I would say. They don't use the term surrealism. They say like weird fiction or magical realism. I like the term surrealism. It's kind of like the art movement. But I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that says that. So, The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare. This is a fabulous book about a girl in Nigeria who just dreams of having an education, and she gets sold off to a husband as a child bride, and like the struggles that she goes through just to get an education is beautiful. Sad, beautiful. I really love how it stresses the importance of education and how we definitely most of the time take it for granted that we can even get that. I have Dear Child by Romy Hausmann. This is translated from German. This is a fabulous German thriller that came out last year and flew completely under the radar. I don't know if I threw this in a thriller video yet, but basically this is a girl who went missing years ago and then she shows up again. But did she actually show up again? Fabulous. Again, I have not been upset with any of the German translated books I've read so far. I've liked every single one. And then I have both books by Britt Bennett. I have The Vanishing Half and I have The Mothers. Vanishing Half came out last year. It's really well loved, and I get it. I really liked it too, but honestly, I like The Mothers better. Definitely read both, but The Mothers is my pick. Getting into some bright books here. I have Daddy by Emma Cline. This is short stories from the internationally best-selling author of The Girls, which, by the way, I haven't read, but I heard is really good. Comes a stunning story collection exploring the dark corners of human experience, the fault lines of power between men and women, parents, children, past and present. Bunny, I talked about in my weird fiction recommendations. This is like a dark academia, super odd book. Not going to be for everybody. And Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I recommended this. It was in my best of 2020, but it's also in, I think, my first thriller book recommendation video. This is so good. It's classified as horror, but I wouldn't really say horror. I would say suspense. The Hating Game. Rom-com. Enemies to Lovers. This is actually a pretty good book. I read it in 2 days. I think if you like rom-coms, you would really like this book. It's pretty funny. I also really like The Honeymooners, also a rom-com, Enemies to Lovers. Super good. Really funny, actually. Yet after those two, I have not found another one I've liked. In Holidays is also by Christina Lauren. This is supposed to be like her romance, comedy, Groundhog Day holiday book. I tried to read it. I couldn't get into it. Might try it this Christmas. I have Hypnotist Love Story by Leanne Moriarty. This is one of her earlier works. Same person that did Big Little Lies. This is about a hypnotist, though. It's on my list. And I have two by Jojo Moyes. I did have Me Before You, but I got rid of it. But these ones sound like they're more historical fiction, so I kind of want to read these ones. I Again, have to be in the mood. The Girl You Left Behind. I tried to take this and read this to my trip to New York in like 2014, and I never finished it because I was too busy traveling. But this is set in France in 1916. And then 1960, The Last Letter from Your Lover. I love how bright both of these are. I will read both of these. I had this from Book Outlet. I had heard about it quite a few times in book lists that were kind of like weird books that you should read. How to Be Human. It says, you've seen a fox come face to face in an unexpected place or at an unexpected moment, and he has looked at you as you have looked at him, as if he has something to tell you or you have something to tell him. But what if it didn't stop there? This is like an eerie, common day, like, folktale. The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. I did not like this book. It's translated from Korean. I love this cover. I'll never get rid of this book because this cover is so amazing. I just didn't like, it was definitely like a surreal, weird fiction story. I didn't love it. So someone recently brought this up on TikTok. All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I've had this book since it came out because it was on for $15 like years ago. I don't know when exactly this was published. As you can tell, I've never read it. There's not even a broken spine. But I just saw on TikTok that the twist ending is phenomenal. So I'm like, maybe I'll read it again. Like, maybe I'll actually read it this time. I don't know. I have my 2 Thomas Pynchon novels. I don't have his other Gravity Rainbow yet, but I do want to get it. But that's a thrift store find. Crying of Lot 49, I recommended in that weird book video. And then Inherent Vice. This is the movie cover. This is a really weird book. I don't even know how to describe it. Watch the movie trailer. Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews. Actually, Jason Matthews just passed away. And this is like a Russian spy book. Loner by Teddy Wayne. I got this at Book Outlet as well. Apparently, this is like a really dark book. There's a quote on here from New York Magazine. Builds like a slow-moving infection until suddenly it's blistering end. It's really short. I'll probably read it this summer. Let's read like really dark shit in the summer. Diane Chamberlain, The Dream Daughter. I put this in my best of 2020 for sure. It's a historical fiction, but has an incredible twist ending. Actually, a couple twists in the book. It's so good. I remember like there was one part and I went when I was reading it. A woman loses her husband in Vietnam, and she ends up, she's pregnant, but then she finds out her daughter is going to be born with like a heart condition that they can't cure. So she goes home upset, and she finds out her brother-in-law is actually a time traveler, and he can send her into the future to get this taken care of. Really good book. I bought this when I worked at the bookstore. 2013, 2012, something like that. It was published in 2011, so probably 2012 I grabbed it. The Stranger's Child. This is a historical fiction love triangle, I'm pretty sure. Every time I do an unhaul, I look at it and I cannot get rid of it. Like, I feel like I'm going to read it every time I read the back. So I do eventually have to pick it up. The Quick by Lauren Owen. I'll just read the back because it's a short blurb. London, 1892. James Norbury, a young would-be poet, finds lodging with a charming aristocrat. Then, suddenly, he vanishes. Alarmed, his sheltered sister Charlotte sets out from her country home to find him. She soon uncovers the city's secret supernatural netherworld, populated from the top of the dregs by terrifying creatures. But where is her missing brother? It's pretty dense, though. So, again, every time I go to unhaul it, I never get rid of it. Like, I'm going to read it because it sounds so interesting, and then I just forget to pick it up. I have 2 more historical fiction mysteries. we have The Essex Serpent and Melmoth by Sarah Perry. This is just going to be adapted into the movie, and I might just watch the movie. These are both based on folk tales. I've tried to read this 3 times and can't get into it. This one's a lot shorter, so I feel like I'm going to like this one more. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I remember getting like halfway through this, and then I stopped reading it way back in the day and I never picked it back up. It's about a mysterious bookstore. I put this in my best of 2020, but it's also in my last mystery thriller video recommendation, Long Bright River by Liz Morris. I'm not going to say too much about it. Check that. I think I hate this book more than any other book I've ever read. And this book angers me, and there's a lot of problems around this book. I'm probably going to do a reread because I want to be... I've been thinking about doing a very critical video on this book, why this is so problematic, and also that there's this really weird bandwagon associated with this where so many people say they love it. But it's odd because when I look at the same people that say they love it, like videos or TikToks and stuff, I notice that they point out a lot of like content warnings and problematic things in other books, but they seem to ignore the problematic things in this book. It's weird. Like there's a very hypocritical, very weird bandwagon that goes on with this book. I think this book is terrible. Terrible. Not the writing. She's a great writer. Like the talent is there. I read this book in 2 sits and it's like 800 pages. Again, I'm probably going to do a whole video dedicated to this book, but I want to reread it first because I want everything to be fresh in my head. But there's a lot of issues with this. I don't like the hype that surrounds this book. I'll talk more about it eventually, but I fucking hate this book. 3 here by Kate Atkinson. I have Transcription, which is a pretty recent release of hers. It came out like 3 years ago, maybe. This is in 1940, and this woman is sent to transcribe things for MI5. She does historical fiction mainly. Life After Life and the sequel, A God in Ruins. I put this in one of my wrap-ups recently. I'm going to try to read this year so I can have them both at the end of my year wrap-up. This is about Ursula. This is about her brother. I had issues with the first one, but 2. I've been filming all friggin' day. Vinegar Girl by Ann Taylor. It's a retelling of Taming of the Shrew. I am looking forward to reading this. I love Shakespeare, so any retelling I'm down for. I've heard this book is crazy good, but really odd, and I don't totally know how to describe it, and no one does. Trust Exercise by Susan Choi. I got this at a thrift store. I'm looking forward to reading this. Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I've talked about this in a video before. I'm really into Greek mythology, any actually mythology or folklores. So this is a retelling of Achilles. Piss me off. I have 3 Meg Wolitzer books. Sleepwalking. I tried to read. I cannot get through it, but apparently it's amazing. She writes a lot of feminist stories. The Female Persuasion. I love this cover. I don't really know what it's about. Power and Influence, Ego and Loyalty, Womanhood and Ambition. It acknowledges the flame that we all hope is flickering inside us, waiting to be seen and fanned by the right person at the right time. And The Interestings. Someone on Goodreads, I got this at a thrift store. I love this cover too. Someone on Goodreads said The Interestings is not interesting. So we'll see. 3 books left here. He Started It by Samantha Downing. I've talked about this in Best of 2020, but also my most recent thriller recommendation video. Super good. The Woman in the Castle, or The Women in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck. This is a historical fiction set after World War II in Germany. I tried to get into it and I couldn't get into it. Again, I think I just have to be in the right like mood mindset for that. And A Reunion of Ghosts. I might read this closer towards Halloween, even though it's not like a horror, but I like the idea of this book. This is three wickedly funny sisters, one family's extraordinary legacy, and a single suicide note that spans a century. So basically it just says, meet the Ultra Sisters, Lady V and Delph. These three mordantly witty, complex women share their family's apartment on Manhattan's Upper West Side. They love each other fiercely, but being an alter is not easy. Bad luck is in their genes, passed down through generations, yet no matter what curves life throws at these siblings, and it's hurled by plenty, they always have a wisecrack to one another. It sounds really good. I kind of want to read something like this and seance-esque towards Halloween, even though this is more like lighthearted and not scary, but I love this cover too. And that's it. I honestly have been having so many technical difficulties today. I have been filming since like 2:30 when I got home from my appointment. I feel like I've talked forever. I don't even know if these videos are going to be good because I'm like rambling in so many of them. So I'm sorry. I'm done. Like I am just done. I've had enough. I'm ready for bed to read. So yay! I have 2 shelves left, and I have a bunch of books, like coffee table books in my living room. So I'm debating what video to throw those into. I'm thinking the one like across. I have a small shelf across from me, but those other, like the one in my room and then this one, are a lot smaller. So oh my god. Yes, I have plenty more planned. We are halfway through 2021 and I have not left my house in a year here in Canada, and it's getting to me. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you have anything you want to see specifically, something maybe I haven't done before, like I was thinking reading vlogs, but I'm not too sure. I don't know if I should do like critical reviews on one single book, like I've been debating for a while. I'm just not sure, or if you just want more recommendations. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. Thank you so much thus far, and I will see you all again shortly. I don't have an exit. Bye.